Hey everybody, Steve Borey here from the American Casino Guidebook. If you're not familiar with us, please be sure to visit our website at americancasinoguidebook.com. Joining me today is my son, who works with me at the American Casino Guidebook website, Matt Borey.
How's it going, everybody? And our guest today is someone we've had on the channel recently. We brought him back because we like him so much, and you guys seem to like him a lot too. Josh O'Connell from knowyourslots.com. How are you, Josh?
Doing well. Thanks for having me back.
Okay, so today we were kicking ideas back and forth, and today we are going to go over an article that you had on your website, which we thought was great, which is the best slots for like mid-level players, like not anybody who's going to like minimum bet, you know, they're not betting 60 cents. I think we're shooting for like $1 to $2 a spin here. Mm-hmm. We're going to go over the 5 best games at that bet level. So let's jump right into it. And the first one you wanted to talk about was Lightning Link and Dragon Link, right?
Yeah, I think there's always a lot of excitement about the Link games in general, just because of sort of the format where you can get the hold and spin and have the chance to get some progressives or other things. And so, you know, a number of people like myself who many times will go to the casino to aim for that $1 to $2 bet. Unlike the Lightning Link and Dragon Link series, there's a nice sweet spot on the nickel denomination, which is minimum bet for 25 lines is $1.25 a spin. And so you still have a number of lines at that bet level. You know, pennies, you would get a 50-line game, whereas with nickels, you get a 25-line game, but the pays are spread out amongst enough lines that you have some ability to hit some things. But at the same time, you're also aiming for the higher mini and the minor, which increase per denomination. But just in terms of a game that's balanced between sort of bet and what you can get out of it, it's a nice sweet spot. And so I know a lot of players who like that nickel denominator $1.25 for that reason. And you can get, you know, good value out of, you know, you put $100 in, you can play for a while and, you know, get some bonuses and keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some of the games like that I don't like, because if you go up to a higher denomination, it drops down to like 5 lines or something, right? And you know that it's just you get too many dry spells in a game like that. So 25 lines seems like a nice middle of the road there.
Absolutely, yeah. So you get the ability to get some line hits. You're not fighting for those. Exactly, the 5 lines gets very tough, especially in the higher denominations.
Now, normally I don't play slots, but for research for this story, this is my research, my job. My wife and I went to the casino and we played all these games that we're talking about today. And I've seen, like I said, we don't normally play slots. We play video poker. We like video poker better. But one of the things that I've always noticed about Lightning Link, Dragon Link games is they're always very crowded. Sometimes it's hard to get a seat in those machines.
It's true. They've maintained their popularity for quite some time, and part of it is also that they issue new themes periodically. So Lightning Link, I believe, is up to 12 themes here in the US. It's even more in Australia, where the games originated. And Dragon Link, I think they're now up to 10. And so every year or two, you see a couple more themes come out with a different free games bonus in it. So it keeps the game fresh for a lot of people. While that hold and spin is definitely something that has attracted people for a long time now. The other thing that I heard, which I think generates some excitement, Aristocrat once said that if you have like a bank of 4 of them, the average bank will see a new bonus hit about once a minute. So there's just constantly activity in that bank of machines, which I think draws a lot of people in for the excitement factor.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, in that Dragon Link games, you have to get 6 of the numbers in order to get to the bonus. But another game that's on your list is Ultimate Fire Link. And in that one, we noticed that you only need 4 of those fireballs to make it into the bonus rounds. So can you tell us a bit about that one?
Yeah, exactly. So Firelink is my preference of the Link games. It's the one I tend to play the most when I go to a casino. I tend to like that one a little bit more. And one of the reasons why is that on the nickel denomination, it's a 20-line game with a $1 bet. So it's actually even a little bit lower, but you still get that ability you still have your 20 lines, and you still have the ability to get both the free spins or the Firelink bonus in this case. And as you said, 4 balls versus 6, which, you know, the game could be designed to hit it just as often, but it just feels a little bit easier in my opinion to actually get the bonuses there. And then, you know, with Firelink, you have that expanding grid once you actually do unlock the Firelink bonus, so you can unlock more rows, and that's sort of unique to the Link model for that game versus some of the others. And so that can make it very exciting if you get to the top of the screen and have all of those rows unlocked and the ability to land even more. So So that nickel denomination $1 bet's there, but also the 2 cent with 50 lines is also $1. So you actually could choose either denomination that you want, and you have $1 bet. And if you want to push your bets a little bit more, then you can bump up to $2, and you're still in that $1 to $2 sweet spot. So I think that that's kind of nice, and gives some variety and some flexibility to players that like a link game, but want to bet that's pretty reasonable.
Now, I like the Firelink too, because I like that bonus where you can unlock the higher rows up. I think that's a cool feature. But the other thing that I think is the reason this is better is because you said the other one you need 6 symbols. This one you only need 4. They could be programmed to happen the same amount of time. But I got to say that the thing that most people don't realize about this is those bonus symbols, they're blockers. So they keep you from getting winning combinations in the base game. So if you only need 4 of them, they're going to come up probably less often, so you get less blockers, which is also nice, because I know it's frustrating when you're playing any of these link games. If you're one off, then you just have so many symbols blocking you're from actually getting winning combinations in the regular game. So I like this one because it's the 4, even though it might happen as often as the 6, which I haven't played this often, but at least with my luck, I feel like the bonus happens way less often in this game than the other one. But it's nice to not have as many blockers.
That's very true. And, you know, the other thing too, I find the free spins bonus to be incredibly hard on some of the Firelink games. Actually, you can play for a while and just not get them. But I do also personally like the free games bonuses because they seem to be a bit more diverse in format, and in that, like, one, you can get more free games through a symbol, and it can just keep like retriggering, get 1, 2, 3 at a time. There's another one that doubles the size of the screen and you win all the fireballs. So there's a bit more diversity to the bonuses, I think, in the Firelink series, which also makes it exciting when you actually do get those free spins. And they also have the stacked wilds as a common feature of the game too, which I personally like, is that undoes the blocker by giving you more chances to line things up with those stacked wilds.
Yeah. And now, okay, so the next game we're going to go to is the Wonder 4 series of machines. And these are the ones that's the one where you get the 4 games that you can pick, right?
Yeah, so Aristocrat has a number of these out on the market now, and they've been out for quite some time, going back many years. But the common format, the Wonder 4, the 4 stands for 4 sets of reels. So you have 4 games that are on there. Usually you have the ability to choose between 4 different games, another part of the 4. And so it can depend on what games are provided in which machine, but there are many of them where they have games like Pompeii or Indian Dreaming or Whales of Cash, where one board only costs 25 cents when you're minimum betting. So when you put all 4 of those boards up, it's $1 a spin. And so you're getting that benefit of spreading your bets out across 4 boards, but at $1, or, you know, if you want to push your bets, you can go to 2x for a $2 bet and you're still in that range. And I've had some amazing runs on games like that. You know, Whales of Cash, Pompeii, they all have these multipliers that come out, especially in the free spins, that if you line things up just right, they can still pay quite well, even at that quarter per board level. And so that can definitely make it very exciting for someone who's betting low, that you can still get those big wins. And frankly, those Aristocrat games, even in their single screen version, were pretty exciting, you know, at lower bets back in the day. So they've just made it in a way now that you can do it on a 4 reel set configuration.
Now, let me ask you, does it matter what games? Because you said some of the games have the lower number of bet lines. Does it matter which of the 4 games you're choosing to get to this $1 to $2 range? Or
it does. So many times the range of games on the will have anywhere from 25 to 60 cents a spin. So like on the same one that Whales of Cash is on, you might find Buffalo Gold, and then it's suddenly a $2.40 for just because Buffalo Gold's minimum bet is 60 cents per board. So that's $2.40 for 4 boards. So what the good thing, you can always put them on there and then look down at the bet panel, and it will tell you what you're going to be betting. So you can make sure that you know that what your per spin bet will be. So it's very clearly written on the bet panel, so you don't get confused before you start spinning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I really like that game. My wife and I were playing it in our casino. The minimum bet was $2. So you had to put 50 cents. You had to bet 50 cents on each game, the 4 games, for $2. But I guess evidently you say it's available for $1 in other casinos. But that's really a great value. I mean, 25 cents to play the slot machine on 4 different slot machines. for
Exactly.
4 different games. I mean, it's really a great value.
And this is, but
uh-huh.
you just brought up something that's actually quite important to note. Not every Wonder 4 has that ability. So there is a version, for instance, that all of the games are 50 cents. For instance, that might have been the one that you found. There are some newer ones that lift the floor to 30 cents or 40 cents, right? Because that's inevitable in casinos. The price slowly goes up over time. So it is helpful to check the games on each one because it may differ. So if you find one and it doesn't have it, look for another one, another format. You might find it on that one.
And the other cool thing I like about this is there's a lot of versatility in this game because you can mix and match. You could play all 4 screens can be one game. You can have 4 different games on the 4 different screens. You can go 2 and 2. You can go 1 and 3. So like you can still change and you can still be betting the same amount. Well, as long as you're not picking Buffalo Gold, of course. So you can keep your bet at the same amount and not have to change machines and still sort of change up the feel of the game as well. Because I think some of those games are more volatile where they have more low payoffs or less payoffs that are higher, or the less volatile, which is more payoffs at lower. So I like it because you can sort of tweak it to whatever your style is of slot play.
Yeah, and most of the time, if you pick one of each, so like if you want one of every game, it usually comes in at or just below $2 a spin. So like the one that Steve saw that all of them were 50 cents, clearly that will be $2 a spin. But like I believe the Wonder 4 boost, it comes in like $1.95, so it's just below $2. So even if you want to put a Buffalo Gold in there, you don't have to have all of them in there. And so maybe you have a couple of lower cost games along with a Buffalo Gold that's a little bit more expensive, and that still keeps your bet, in a nice sweet spot.
All right, number 4 here was an interesting game because it's an old game. I had played, and when you were down here a few months ago. You were going on a cruise down here, being South Florida. We went to the casino, and you played this game, and I didn't even think about playing this game. It's so old. It's Quick Hit, but yes, it's with mechanical reels, and it was interesting because it was only $1.50 bet, and it seemed and with that, because most of these games you got to bet $3, $4, $5 to be eligible for these bonuses, but this was just $1.50 bet, and this is Quick Hit, and there's so many versions of Quick Hit, but this is back to sort of the original version of it.
Yeah, I personally favor those original 5 mechanical reel ones because I feel like they did a really good job with that one. But obviously the Quick Hit series is voluminous at this point, and many of them, depending on the casino, you'll find some percentage that have this $1.50 max bet. So it's 30 lines, 5 times your line bet, and that's $1.50. Now, the most important thing to remember about any Quick Hit machine is you have to max bet the Quick Hit machines to be eligible for the 5 Quick Hit progressives. And so if you're talking about that $1 to $2 sweet spot, you really want to find the ones with the $1.50 max bet, because then that makes you eligible for those progressives and ensures that you're getting the maximum payout of that machine. The good news is in most casinos, you will find at least some percentage of them with that $1.50 bet, and especially the mechanical reel ones tend to be most frequently $1.50. Occasionally you'll find a $2 one or a $1 one, but $1.50 is the most common configuration. And so you just get a lot of mileage out of that. You have the 5 progressives, so you can get those at any time. And then you have a free spin bonus that can retrigger up to 50 spins, 2 or 3x your pays in the free spins bonus, depending on which number you end up with. And so it can be quite fun. And if you're on a session where things are coming, and Steve, I think we had a great example of that when we were together, where I think I got a progressive and then I got 2 free spin bonuses, and I think I only did like 50 or 60 spins. That can be quite a bit of action on $100 put into the machine and keep you quite engaged. And so it's one of those games where things happen a lot, and so it tends to be pretty exciting.
Now, the next game is one that I'm sure I've seen in casinos plenty of times. I don't think I've ever actually played this one myself, and that's the Quick Spin series.
Yeah.
So do you want to give us a breakdown on this one? I think it's the only one I'm not very familiar with.
Yes, this Quick Spin is one of the first games issued by Ainsworth from their US division. So it was like one of the first US games built by the US team. And so it was sort of their first chance to get out there. Everybody's probably familiar with things like Eagle Bucks and Thunder Cash and a lot of those higher denomination games, which are pretty traditional Ainsworth games. But this was a penny machine and a wheel game and a lot of stuff that really wasn't common for them. So they took a lot of stuff that they hadn't done before and actually knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. And so there's a number of games in this series that you'll see nowadays. The one that's sort of the traditional one that was in casinos first is called Supercharged Sevens, and that's the one I usually recommend as a starting point. The minimum bet on this game is 50 cents, so it's very accessible even for a min bet player. But usually you'll have $1, $1.50, a $2 bet, so a number of bets in that $1 to $2 range. But the game gives you better wheel odds when you bet higher. So betting higher can get you better access to some of those bigger prizes, which can be important for those players that are seeking something good on the wheel. One of the things that's most interesting about this game series that I learned from Mike, who you had recently on your show as well, is that the average wheel spin comes once in every 56 or so spins. And so it's designed to be a very active game in terms of getting that wheel constantly. So those who like frequent wheel spins, frequent bonuses, this is the type of game for you. It's very active. It's definitely a lower volatility game as well. So those who are not looking for a very tough game, this is going to be a very good one for you to play in the casino. You can sit down and play it for a while and get a lot of fun out of it. And you know, if you get the right conditions, it can certainly pay too. I've gotten the top wedge with multipliers a couple of times while playing this game, and you know, that can be 400, 600 times your bet. So up to 1,000 times your bet with the 5x multiplier. So still a good top prize chance if the right conditions occur, but still a lot of just action overall if you're looking for a fun slot to play.
Now, when you and I when you came down here for your trip, and we went to another casino, another local casino, as we usually do.
Absolutely.
That's our hobbies. So you introduced me to this game because I wasn't familiar with it, and I sat next to you while you were playing one, and I got the wheel spin. So I, wow, this is a great game. I love it. You know, I won money right away. But one thing that I think is a little, I was a little leery of, is you need to get 6 of the wheel spins to initiate the wheel spin, 6 of the wheel spin symbols. But when it starts spinning, and you see 2, 3, 4, 5 multipliers, but I didn't realize that you're not going to get those 2, 3, 4, 5 multipliers. The only way I believe you get them is you have to have more than 6 wheel spin symbols. So I wasn't crazy about that because I thought it was making you think you could, after your wheel stopped, that you could get a 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplier, but that's not going to happen unless, so I don't know why they put it there because it's not going to happen. So other than that, I like the game.
Yeah, I think on a new, so this game is one that's been updated a couple of times for different screens. I think on their newest one, they don't even show the multiplier unless you actually get it. So I think they might have responded to that feedback. But yeah, it's definitely the number of symbols that trigger it that determine if you get a multiplier, and if so, how much. And so you can, on this particular one, you can get a 5x. Some of the newer ones that are a bit more volatile, they can go up to a 25x multiplier. So they've also been sort of tinkering with that aspect a little bit for people who want a bit of a bigger chance to get something bigger. So yeah, so that's what's interesting now, is they're sort of diversifying the series to tackle other aspects that people might be looking for as well.
All right, so we've covered all 5, and these were 5 great slots for low limit players that offer a lot of value. But I understand you wanted to just throw in an extra one. What was that?
Yeah, let's get a bonus tip into the mix here. And this is not so much a game so much as it is sort of an idea. And so they're still in every casino you can walk into nowadays, for the most part, mechanical reel slots, the 3 reel slots, the 5 reel slots. And the ones that I'm talking about are 3 reel slots at the quarter, maybe 50-cent denomination. And the reason why I'm recommending this is because a lot of penny players may look at that quarter denomination and may not really understand how accessible those machines are and how accessible those bets are. Because if you go to a quarter denomination, say Double Diamond, which is a classic game you'll find in just about every casino, it's a 3-coin game usually, which is 75 cents a spin. There's no bonus rounds, there's no free games. That might bore some people, but that means all the money is in the payouts. It's in the line hits. And so, you know, you don't have to chase, 100 spins to get that free games bonus, to get the free games bonus round payouts, which is where a percentage of the money is going to be locked into many of the slots that are on the casino floor. They're just going to be in the line hits with the multipliers that are there. You can boost your pays. And there's all sorts of games like that in the casino. And I've sort of made it a point myself over the last 2 years or so to get more time on those games. And I've usually will look for the 3 quarters, the 50-cent ones, or even 2 credits at $1, which is still $2 a spin. And there's plenty of those as well. And have found myself really kind of understanding and appreciating why those games can be so much fun. I was at the Plaza in Las Vegas on a 75-cent machine and got 1,000 times line bet because I got a 5 times 5 times 7. And so I got a $750 payout on 75 cents. And, any slot machine where you can do that's exciting, but on a machine like that, I wasn't expecting anything like that. So that was kind of exciting.
All right, Josh O'Connell, thank you very much for joining us today. If people want to know more about you or your work, where can they do that?
My website is knowyourslots.com, where I post an article at 10 a.m. Eastern every morning. And they can also follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Know Your Slots, all one word.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. If you guys like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our other great videos.
Yeah, thanks very much for watching, and best wishes for good luck in the casinos.